Hello and welcome to News Morning here on New Day on TV3. My name is Beatrice Sedu. Coming up in the next few minutes. Cabinet approves new National Ethics and Anti-Corruption Action Plan to be rolled out from 2026 to 2030. Also on the program this morning, residents of Anjuraso in the whole West District of Water Region sound alarm over what they describe as the rapid destruction of the vegetation surrounding the community. And much later on the program, Ghana Maritime Authority says a new policy is being developed to strengthen the welfare and working conditions of seafarers. My name is Beatrice Sedu. Thank you very much for joining us on the program this morning. Now, Cabinet has approved the new National Ethics and Anti-Corruption Action Plan to be rolled out from 2026 to 2030. Speaking at the Civil Society Forum at the University of Ghana, President Mahama said his belief in participatory governance remains unflinching.
And I wish to use this platform to restate my commitment to transparent and accountable governance. In my past presidency, I had the privilege of launching the 10-year National Anti-Corruption Action Plan in 2015. And I'm pleased to report to you that just yesterday, Cabinet approved the new National Ethics and Anti-Corruption Action Plan (2026 to 2030) for onward transmission to Parliament. I'm also happy to announce to you that yesterday Cabinet took a decision directing the Attorney General to draft a bill for the protection of state assets. It's called the State Assets Protection Bill. It shows the guidelines under which any state asset can be disposed, including lands, buildings, state assets, factories, industries, so that no government just capriciously disposes of state assets.
Now, former Chief Justice Gertrude Araba Esabasaki Tokonu has filed an application with the Supreme Court seeking a review of the court's decision and orders dated May 28, 2026, arguing that she was denied a fair opportunity to be heard before significant orders were issued in a constitutional matter affecting her. In the review application, Justice Tokonu asked the Apex Court to set aside its earlier ruling and revisit proceedings that culminated in the consolidation of two constitutional suits and the fixing of July 2, 2026 for judgment. According to court documents, the former Chief Justice contends that despite the panel of justice affirming it could not assume she had been informed of the withdrawal of her legal counsel's services, the matter nonetheless proceeded in her absence and without legal representation. Some more here in residents of Anjuraso Wase in the whole West District of the Water Region are sounding alarm over what they describe as the rapid destruction of the vegetation surrounding the community. Heavy-duty trucks have taken over sections of the mountains surrounding the area, excavating and hauling sandstones for ongoing road construction projects. But residents say that their homes have become vulnerable to flooding as the once protected vegetation on the mountains disappears.
The mountains surrounding Anyawasi were covered in thick green vegetation. That cover acted as a natural shield, absorbing rainwater and protecting homes downhill from floods. But today, that greenery is disappearing. Heavy-duty machines and trucks now dominate the mountaintop, excavating and hauling tons of sandstone for ongoing road construction projects. Residents say the destruction has left their homes exposed.
Whenever it rains from the top, the running water goes directly to my house. And as a result, you could see the trace of the dry water on the wall. And it has taken over the whole environment where I reside. It even gets to the room. As a result of that, I've created this channel so that the running water will go through, but still it overflows.
Ave come Jalama one decoga, che si ovali e tori e cine ci già macutane cura.
Others describe it as a disaster waiting to happen.
It's a earthquake-prone mountain starting from Ouija. So if something will happen, I don't know what will happen.
We are all very concerned about the threat this causes to our homes and the long-term implications on the land. Now you see, when you remove the top cover of any mountain or any land, what happens is that essentially the lands become degraded. So in the long term, nobody can use this for any agricultural purposes. We have sent several petitions to the EP and other stakeholders. Nothing has been said, nothing has been done.
As you can see, several acres of the vegetation cover up the hills have been destroyed.
And now when it rains, the rainwater runs directly into the homes down the hill. And that is what is creating the fear among residents who say that their homes did not used to experience flooding, but now that is the case. You can also see very visible channels created by the rainwater, further degrading the land downhill. A school down there is also suffering from this very devastation.
According to Section 12 of the Environmental Protection Agency Act 1994, Act 490, and the Environmental Assessment Regulations 1999, LI 1652, no undertaking likely to affect the environment can begin without EPA registration and an environmental permit.
Then the right process is like you obtain a permit before undertaking this kind of activity, and which did not happen. Yeah, we did not happen. We went into the sites where the issue is happening, and our interaction with both the community and the contractors. That time there were two. There were two contractors, Ultra Nexus and I believe First Sky and so. So our work, this issue resulted in one of them relocating from the site, and we are still engaging with the second one that as soon as possible they should also relocate. So
when approached, officials of First Sky Construction Limited acknowledged the concerns. They say reclamation work is underway with plans to plant trees to restore the vegetation cover. During a follow-up visit on Saturday, TV3 News observed tons of sand offloaded onto the affected areas, evidence of the company's reclamation efforts. But until the vegetation is fully restored, homes downhill remain at risk. With more rains expected, residents say they are still holding their breath. Faisal Abdul Idrisu, TV3 News, Anyawasi.
The British High Commission has reaffirmed the United Kingdom's long-standing commitment to supporting Ghana's economic development, emphasizing that climate-resilient infrastructure is central to shared prosperity.
Ghana, in common with many of its African neighbors and global peers, faces intensifying climate impact. Shifting rainfall patterns, rising sea levels and increased flood frequency place growing pressures on urban infrastructure, energy systems and rural livelihoods. Ghana's exposure to shocks makes investment in climate-resilient infrastructure an immediate development priority. The Green Project Preparation Facility has been launched, capitalizing with a commitment of £5 million from the UK government. Deputy British High Commissioner to Ghana, Terry Sash, said the facility will improve Ghana's ability to tackle increasing challenges posed by climate change.
I should also say that the UK is hugely proud to be partnering with Ghana, with FSD Africa, with the Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund to be working on this initiative, and it's an absolute pleasure to have launched it today, and we're really looking forward to seeing it go from strength to strength and to bring in other partners who are ready to support Ghana's growth and climate ambitions.
Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund, GIF, Nana Jomo Bene, highlighted the significance of the facility for Ghana's broader climate change investment agenda.
Over the years, GIF has established strong partnerships with key international institutions, including the Global Center on Adaptation, the Coalition for Disaster Resilient Infrastructure, the Climate Vulnerable Forum, Agence Française Développement, AFD, FSD Africa, and other climate-focused organizations to advance climate action within Ghana's infrastructure sector.
Chief Executive Officer of FSD Africa, Mark Napier, disclosed that the launch of the Green Project Preparation Facility marks a pivotal step for Ghana's climate finance ecosystem.
The longer we wait to invest in climate resilience, the more expensive it will be to backfill later. So we need to build now. We need to build to drive economic growth, to create jobs, and to improve access to basic services like energy. And so we need to build now to reduce the country's exposure to the costs of a climate disaster and avoid storing up climate liabilities for future generations.
An initial pilot cohort of projects is already in active preparation.
Now, Ghana's agricultural sector is facing mounting pressure as farmers across the country struggle to access fertilizers due to delays in the implementation of the government's subsidy program. Responding to the concerns of the farmers, the Minister of Parliament for Dom Kwabenya Eliklim Akurugu distributed fertilizers to the farmers in the constituency.
For many years, subsidized fertilizer has played a crucial role in supporting farmers by lowering production costs and improving crop yields. However, with supplies unavailable for several months, many producers have been forced to purchase fertilizer at significantly higher market prices. The situation has placed considerable financial strain on farmers, many of whom are already grappling with the rising cost of seeds, transportation and labor. As a result, some have reduced the labor of their farms, while others have abandoned portions of their cultivated land altogether. The Member of Parliament for Dome Kwabenya Eliklim Akurugu, upon a call from farmers' groups, distributed a total of 2,000 bags of 25 kg NPK fertilizer, 300 bags of 50 kg urea, and 200 cartons of liquid organic fertilizer. Farmers from areas such as Abokobi, Papao, Atomic, Westlands, and Evergreen were among the beneficiaries. The MP cautioned beneficiaries not to sell the fertilizers, stressing that they should be used strictly for farming purposes.
But it doesn't help the cause. So I sent a warning to them, say we are going to monitor them henceforth. Who indulging in such practices will get at you.
Director of Agriculture of the Ghanese Municipal Assembly, Madame Marianne Dompe, is optimistic of a better yield.
Last year this year next time so a bit better.
Some of the beneficiary farmers expressed appreciation to the MP and government for the support.
May God bless her, because we want more than this, especially onion, tomatoes, cabbage, and green pepper.
Never hear piano. I do support two for no say and fan come na. Say never ya. Feed Ghana project no. And so let me produce more at the Aboa man.
The Ghana Maritime Authority says a new policy is being developed to strengthen the welfare and working conditions of seafarers. Marking the International Day of the Seafarer, the Director General, Dr. Kamaldeen Ali, said that the initiative aims to improve safety, support systems and career opportunities for those who keep maritime trade moving. Samuel Yeboah Adams has the rest of the story.
Many people see the sea as a place for travel or leisure. For engineer Beniclote, it has been a workplace for the past 10 years.
Right from age 9, I decided to work on board a ship. It's been a dream that I've had for a long time. So even as I was growing up in high school, or people were choosing different kind of professions, nobody was choosing to be in the seafaring domain. So I opted that once I want to work in a ship, I would love to work in a ship at all costs.
He describes life at sea as both rewarding and demanding, requiring discipline, resilience, and long period away from loved ones.
Seafaring job is a calling, just like the work of the pastors calling. So we miss our children's birthday, we miss ceremonies. You know, unlike if you are here Saturday and Sundays, you know, is a celebration day for other people. But on board, every day is like Monday.
Although the industry has traditionally been male-dominated, Angela, a young seafarer, says the sector offers opportunities for a new generation willing to embrace the challenge.
I will tell my fellow women that if you have the drive to work and you feel you want to be here, you can do it. You just have to come and you'd have to prepare adequately because it's not easy. You would be in a male-dominated field, so you have to be prepared to go boot to boot. You have to prepare to work.
As the world marked the International Day of the Seafarer on June 25, the Ghana Maritime Authority used the occasion to highlight the often unseen contributions of maritime workers to global trade.
Every country, and the silence between behind the success and the drive of the country, are seamen that are working at sea, and they are driving the economy. So you go to the port, and you realize that there are vessels there, and seamen are those that have brought these vessels, and that is what we depend.
The Director General of the authority, Dr. Kamaldeen Ali, noted that efforts are underway to strengthen opportunities and support for seafarers, especially female seafarers in the country.
In a couple of months' time, His Excellency the President will launch the National Seafarer Development Program or policy, and this has a number of things embedded on it. Whenever we engage a shipping company to open or to get opportunities for our seafarers, we insist that a good number of them must be women also.
Beyond the ships and the cargoes, seafarers say the day serves as a reminder of the sacrifices associated with the profession.
I'm an electrician, right? So there are many things that I've experienced on a ship that on land I'm not able to meet any of those systems. So in terms of work, it's also very challenging.
Seafaring is a very important job because most of the cargoes in this world is shipped by sea. So if seafarers are not available now, even those goods are still going to be shipped, but it's not going to be as convenient as it is now.
This year's Day of the Seafarer highlights the hardship, pressure and risk of life at sea, especially in high-risk and conflict-affected areas, while underscoring seafarers' essential role in keeping global trade moving. Samuel Yeboah Adams, TV3 News, Tema.
And that's all for News Morning here on Newday on TV3. My name is Beatrice Sedu. Thank you very much for joining us on the program. Do continue with us on Newday.
Hello, my name is Pamela from Customer Service. Please revalidate your account by texting your Ghana card.
to be the Black Stars against Panama in the first half that frustrates you so much, or will be the Black Stars that in the second half of the Panama game they show so much promise and go on to deliver that sterling performance against England on Tuesday? Or what type of Black Stars? I mean, that's the confusion always. But I mean, the point is that the team has the potential to be great.
Yeah.
They have the potential to do amazing things. We have a great coach. I've heard over the last 2 days, I've heard from some football greats who worked with him during his days at Manchester United, and they've spoken about how they were not surprised with how he set up Ghana against England. And so the game against Croatia, well, they are ranked around 13th on the world ranking. We are way down there somewhere.
70 something.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, so relatively in terms of the ranking, they're a better team. But the last time we met Croatia was in the 2006 World Cup. At that time, they were in the top 10 of the world. They were in the top 10. We actually beat them.
Oh,
yeah,
so it doesn't matter the ranking.
It doesn't matter the ranking, but it also means that they are extra motivated to get a revenge. So it could be tricky, but we expect the Black Stars to do us all proud once again.
Yeah.
The first song that we played, the first one, the one before the Grace Ashley one, the Kofi Kinata one.
Kofi Kinata, yes.
I was in Takoradi.
Okay.
I was in Takoradi on Tuesday. I was doing some work on Tuesday and Wednesday. So I watched the Ghana game in Takoradi.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, and this song is like a national anthem in Takoradi.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, like when there was oh goodness, the song, I love it. When there was a good tackle, the DJ just opens the song, it takes over the commentary.
Yeah.
When there was a clearance, the song is played. When it's a hydration break, the song is played. And when the game ended, there was Soluku with this song.
Yeah, it's a very nice song. I love it. Yeah. I love the song. It's so nice. But hey, welcome to New Day on TV3. It's a Friday, and we're all excited preparing for the Black Stars game tomorrow. But really, what should we all expect today, Blake?
I think it will be a chance for Ghana to make all of us proud, and it's an issue that when we open the phone lines on this morning segment, we'll allow you to call in and share your views with us on the Black Stars situation. But a bit more later on the show, when we start the big issue discussion, we'll talk about the issues around utilities. You know that the price of utilities have gone up some 2.something% by the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission. The MPP, they are speaking about that already, because mind you, with the formula that we're operating now under the IMF program, we expect that tariffs are adjusted quarterly to reflect the economic developments. And so in the event you see the indicators like inflation, the cedi to dollar rate, all those things, depending on how they are performing, the IMF expects that to reflect in the price of tariffs or how tariffs are costed. And that is what the MPP is complaining that, well, it does appear that inflation has generally been much better, so they think that it should not be going up as it has gone up. And so that
I think Guta is also complaining.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that is an issue that we'll discuss on the big issue segment. Another issue that is also very topical that we'll talk about has to do with the new patriotic party. I don't know whether you saw the videos.
Yes,
from yesterday.
the petition to get Kennedy Japan out of the party.
Ken must go. That's what they were basically chanting, and they were chanting that when the minority leader was exiting, and when he was going into the venue for the program. You are not too sure why he is the target of those chants, but should Ken leave the MPP?
Well, they will have to decide whether they want him in the party or not. I think that he's made a number of utterances, but I'm just surprised why they're asking for it now, because he said worse things, right? The latest one being the fact about the Afari military hospital, that they shouldn't be putting pressure on a government that's just a little over 1 year when they were in power for 8 years and didn't do anything, and trying to justify it by quoting when he was the chair of the Defense and Interior Committee of Parliament, and there are a lot of information that was available to him, and so he knew what he was saying. But well, this is an internal issue. They will have to decide what they want to do with him.
Why are political parties so uncomfortable when members break ranks or disagree? Or I mean, it's one of the reasons why partisan political organization
it's not quite attractive at all. I mean,
yeah,
people should be allowed to disagree with the party, don't you think so?
I think people are not able to stomach a lot of criticism, especially when they think that even if you're speaking the truth, it should come from the opposing side and not you within who should, you know, toe a line, as it were. So, again, I would say that it would depend on the party. They will have to decide whether or not somebody as influential as he is should be kicked out of the party.
Yeah, I mean, I think that for the Afari Hospital, if that is the basis for this conversation, I have my own views on that.
Yeah.
But I think there was something else that he had said about me saying that he had threatened the party basically that if they are not careful, he's going to spill the bean and he will give them a showdown later in the year. I think he said around July or so if they are not careful.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know, but I mean, the MPP members, a member of their party will be joining us. We'll join the Friday team, so we'll have that discussion and we'll see how we proceed with that and what the concerns are in respect of that. And so that is an issue that will dominate attention. You can always send your messages to us. We are going to share them with the rest of the world. You can join us on Facebook as well. The Facebook stream, you can put your messages there. A lot of you put your messages there. We'll read it to you just about now. But right about now, we'll start with this morning segment where we are going to focus on the Black Stars. We have seen the Black Stars in action against Panama. We have seen the Black Stars in action against England,
the sweetest of them all.
Yes, the sweetest of them all. The English were so angry. They were so upset. In fact, I've heard from some of their greatest footballers. I've heard from Ian Wright. I've heard from Gary Neville. They are all saying that Gary Lineker, the all-time top scorer in the World Cup, they are all making the point that England was lucky because Ghana actually got a penalty.
Yeah, which were denied. Our coach complained about it.
The coach said that, I think I love the coach. He says all the right things all the time. He says he suspects the VAR guys went for a cup of coffee. So they were not on duty. He says, it's fine. He said once in a while, he also goes for a cup of coffee, so you can understand. But clearly, if they had not gone for a cup of coffee, how did they not see that? It was a penalty.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, goodness.
He seems to be saying all the right things. From day one, the press conference when he arrived in Ghana to hours before the match, when he said that they have 3 lions, we have how many? 33.
Yes. I mean, referring to the population of the country. We'll open the phone lines shortly. We'll cross over to the other side. You can call us. Let us know what you think of the game that is taking place. Give us your prediction. You can also talk to us about who you think should play in the team and who shouldn't play in the team coming up tomorrow. Fortunately, tomorrow we have access to the full complement of the team, unlike the game against Panama where we do not have Thomas third party. We'll have him. He made some changes also. Nyama, who played in the first game, did not play in the second game. Inaki Williams rather played in the second game. Brandon Thomas Asante was very brilliant in the first game. Many thought he was going to play. He was the one who made the run that we were talking about the other time when we were doing a review. He didn't play in the second game as well. So that was also another question.
I think Aseye, one of the names. No, it wasn't Aseye. Is this something here, forgive me that I missed the name as well. He also did very well. He had this blonde short hair running around and ensuring that he was defending properly. But one thing
Sibo.
Yes, one thing I'm noticing about the coaches, he seems to have a strategy for each team.
Yes.
Because the Panama, he went in with a strategy. And you remember that press conference ahead of the game with England, he said that we know how they play and we're going to go accordingly. And we seemed to have had a strategy that worked for us. And so I'm hoping that he would also know, having been in a game for this long, he would also know the strategy that the Croatia team uses so that we're able to beat them to it. Yes, but do you have any predictions? I won't stick my neck out though.
I think we're going to do, it's going to be 1 goal difference. And 1 goal difference. Either we are winning by 1-0 or 2-1.
Okay.
Yeah, but we are going to win by 1 goal difference. Yeah, that's my prediction.
Okay, that's
I'm
nice.
very sure.
I'm
very sure about that. Yeah.
Maybe I'll side with you, and that would make the 2 of us. Yes. Coco is disagreeing with the fact that I'm siding with you.
Yeah,
she wants me to give my prediction.
You as well. They want to hear you.
Not now. But I think with what I've seen so far, I expect the team to do well. But I also agree that we should be able to score an extra goal beyond what the general expectation. This one shouldn't be goalless. we should have some goals in
we
there.
need some points.
Because those who are criticizing the England game, although a number of us are rejoicing, say that the English coach was just in the he was just there doing nothing. We gave him a holiday. We should have put a lot of pressure on him. So hopefully this time around there are a lot more attempts to score a goal. But hey, you're welcome to this morning segment.
Me.
And to address, first of all, our gratitude for your support, for being here. And sometimes the word thank you, we use it so many times in so many different circumstances that start to lose the really meaning of saying thank you very much. And we take it not as a compliment, but as a gesture of more responsibility for us to do better and better. The second thing, in our lives coaches, sometimes we are the target, special national team coaches. I learned that it is a man with the country or without the country, against the country or without the country. That's our job. That's why we are the coaches. And you sent in my name some compliments. Without this beautiful stuff, was not possible. Special in front of you, I want to say thank you to our boys, because they understand, they accept my lead. It's not easy in a few days to do everything, but without them, without this staff, it was not possible. So I want to share with them your compliments.
So that's the Black Stars coach management team over there when they received some dignitaries who had visited the team. It's been a regular feature in between the games. We've seen that happen so far. What we are going to do now is to build up to that big game that is taking place tomorrow at 9 p.m. Ghana coming up against Croatia. Croatia is currently ranked around 13th. I was making a point earlier on that when we played against them in 2006, they were in the top 10. They were in the top 10, and it was no problem. But that Black Stars team was a completely different Black Stars team. That Croatian team was also a completely different Croatian team. I remember Pavel Nedved and all those guys being in the team. But I mean, what's important is that we get a point tomorrow. But already there are some analysis that some of you are doing. I've seen one that disturbs me a lot, because it has to do with in which country we'll be playing, depending on where we rank, whether we will be playing in Canada or out of Canada. And we all know the implications, the likely implications if we play out of Canada and if we play in Canada, what it will be. So I don't want to look at all those analysis. I think it's too stressful. I've been trying to follow it and it's too stressful. But we're just going to build up to the game. And joining me in the studio is Benjamin Graham. Benjamin Graham is a sports journalist. I prefer to describe him as Ghana's finest commentator. You may have heard him running the commentary. There was one game that he was commentating on. I was telling him I'm a big fan. I don't know which stadium that was, but you had the microphone, the access to the PA system, and you just chanted, Ghana, 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 oh say, yeah. Where was that?
That was Qatar.
That was Qatar?
Yeah.
Do you remember which specific game?
I think it was Ghana against Portugal.
Ghana against Portugal. Yeah. Wow, the response at the stadium was amazing. But you're fantastic.
Yeah,
you're fantastic.
Thanks, brother.
Commentator.
Fantastic
commentator. I'm a big fan. Let's build up to the game that will be taking place tomorrow. Is it fair to say that we have? This was when the Black Stars arrived. Just in Philadelphia ahead of the game. Is it fair to say that with the performances we've seen in the 2 games, Ghanaians have every reason to be hopeful of a better performance against Croatia?
I think we should, and that's where, when you listen to the coach, he's very much cautious about it. Why? Because there are a lot of people who still believe that we haven't really been that vintage, we haven't really been that efficient as expected. And rightly so, because you're expecting Ghana to score more goals. And that's why the mathematics is setting in right now. Because if you take a look at the groups now, or the points build-up, you realize that England have 4 points, but they have a certain goal difference against us. And we also have 4 points. And the only goal we have is against Panama. And then you have Croatia with 3 points. All right. They also have a deficit in terms of goals because of the number of goals they conceded against, England. And you have Panama. So their argument basically is what happens if Panama beat Croatia, basically, or what happens if Panama actually beat England. Yeah. What happens if we also lose to Croatia? What happens in terms of the goal difference and all those things? So it's playing a role there, because then you've watched other groups where you've seen teams have 4 points, but they have to wait and see what happens in the other groups there. So we haven't really been that efficient when it comes to goal scoring or to score more goals. And that has been setting Black Stars play. If you take a look at 2006, for instance, and then you did allude to it, we played actually Czech Republic, now Czechia. And so we remember they were 5th in the world. We were somewhere languishing at the latter stages of the ranking. But we actually beat them 2-1. And then we went ahead to qualify. If you take a look at 2010, for instance, we didn't score too many goals, but yet we managed to qualify. So we don't really get to score too many goals, but we get a job done. And that's why people are really looking at, if we are to look at this particular Croatian side, it's likely we can beat them. But again, they also need a win badly to also progress.
Is it fair to say that from the way we've set up in the 2 games, especially our starting lineup, we've not set up to score goals? We've basically, especially the game against England, and at every point in time, he even brought on Prince Kwabnedu and took him off and brought on the Baba Rahman, the left back. I mean, we don't seem to be set up to want to score.
I think you also have to understand that if you try to score, you also have to defend. One of the bane is that you're playing, if I should use the word, a makeshift centre-back system, in a sense that the 2 centre-backs, this is the first time they're playing together at the highest level, because you don't have Jiku, you don't have Salisu there. So you are now playing Jerome Opoku and Ajete. They haven't really been your most trusted centre-backs. How do you protect them as well? And how do you also protect the goalkeepers? And so you're playing, Gideon Mensah, you're playing Senaya. First time also playing for the Black Stars at right back position. So you're trying to make sure you have a certain protection. That's why if you take a look at the English game we play, I tell you, every time we lose the ball, we seem to have our 7 players in the box protecting the goalkeeper, protecting the goalpost, ensuring that we don't concede. And that's where you watch the coach tactical play. He then finds a way to use the wingers, the players who are very fast. You have Inaki, we have Semenyo. Then Jordan is your man trying to hold up play to make sure the wingers move. And also when you have around the 70th or 75th minute, when you think that the opposition is now beginning to be a bit wary, then you bring in the Ishahakus and the Prince Kobna, Edu. They also have the pace to run. So he has a way of, I'm not going to, if you can't score me, or if I can't score, you can also score me. So that's the frustration we normally give to teams there. But where we've gotten to, we need to score so we can have an easy way of making it to the next stage. If we're going to have to play a little bit defensive and then we have to concede, it will be a problem. So this game is a must-win, and a must-win too means that we have to score some goals to ensure that we get to the level we want.
But the counter-argument against that last point would be that Croatia, they have 3 points. They have just 3 points after beating Panama by a goal to 0. So going into this game, if we pick up a draw, we go to 5, they go to 4. So at the starting point, maybe we may have to still defend.
Why would you want to pick a draw? Because that's the mistake South Korea made against South Africa. They thought that, Mexico is doing the job for us, so let's go for a draw. Before they knew it, they were beaten. So I would say let's go for a win. Just go out there and win the game. If a draw comes, it's good for you. But if you have the mindset, I'm going for a draw, the problem is that your opposition also wants a win. And so you don't want to put pressure on yourself, but just go play your game and make sure that you get the win. Because the Croatians, for me, I've seen the weaknesses in the setup. The advantage we have that we have young players who can actually run at any team. And so we need to make sure we unleash the young players to go out there and then play their football. Other than that, if we want to be a bit cautious a bit defensive-minded, we may have issues.
Let's talk about the team. The first game, we had Atizigi in post. The second game, obviously, he was not that fully fit, so we had Benjamin Asari come in. Going into the third game, let's stay on the goalkeeping department. You expect
and then let him build on that confidence he has. And then obviously, against Croatia, I don't think we're going to have issues, because once he's there, we're good to go.
Is it fair to say he's our best goalkeeper?
Absolutely. Right now, he's our best goalkeeper. There's nobody else to say that you want to compete with him in that position. He's the best goalkeeper for now for the Black Stars. So we need to really appreciate that.
With regards to the back line, if there's no injury, I guess we all agree we should maintain the same back line. Senaya, Jordan Opoku, Ajete, and Gideon Mensah on the left back.
We don't have a problem currently. We haven't had any concerns regarding the back line. I think it's been solid. And of course, the midfield, you have the Pates, you have the Year and Cheese also there. And I don't think we also have a lot of issues to deal with it, in the sense that these are very compact and very disciplined players. If you take a look at our forward liners, you're talking about the Jordans and Inaki Williams and Semenyo. I think these are the three players currently that have the trust of the coach. What happens mostly is that anytime we play, in fact, against England, we played the 4-5-1, where we had to make sure that we suffocated the English team in the midfield area. However, anytime we also on the offensive, the 4-3-3, of course, then you're releasing all your offensive players. So I think it's very important we look at the formation that we want to have in that game against Croatia. I don't think we want to be defensive in that game. You know why? Because the coach knows that I have all the Croatians. I initially felt that, oh, there's a side that we're going to have issues. But when I watched them against England, I noticed that anytime you have a certain Modric who's about 40 years in the game, he cannot run like any other young player. And if you take a look at the Argentina team, watch Messi, he doesn't overdo things. He keeps relaxing until he gets the ball. Ronaldo, same, because they are in their 40s. You don't expect to have them being a little bit, energetic in running in the midfield. So if you play that Modric role, then what it is that we're going to have a lot of young players around the Croatians. And so we need to take advantage of that. Unless he decides to play Kovacic and not play Modric, that'll be a little bit different. And having them watch our game against England, I'm sure they're also going to map up a strategy to ensure that they win their midfield battle. At the point, we won the midfield battle against England. And that's the reason Declan Rice and the rest felt that, in fact, for Rice, he knew that this was a very tough game for him. Bellingham also admitted to the fact that, listen, it was a tough game for them. And that's the experience of Carlos Queiroz. He's been there before. He's seen it all before. So going into games, he knows the strategy to map out. So I think we need to be very, very intentional about our decision in a game against Croatia.
I mean, in the first game, we didn't have access to Partey, so we fell on Elisha Owusu and Yurinchi. In the second game, when we had access to Partey, Elisha Owusu did not play. We rather went for Sibo joining. What do you think may have accounted for that change?
Because Sibo is more aggressive. He brings in a certain energy in the midfield there, because then he's sitting right in front of the back four. And of course, you have Partey pushing the offensive players, and Yurinchi in there to make sure he also helps in the distribution. Or you also change the position. Either it's Partey sitting in the middle, or Yurinchi is pushing. And anytime you have that movement, you realize that your wingers are always in there. So what this is that you need that sort of block. And that's what Sibo does give you in that game. And obviously, he did his job pretty well against England. And so it's very important to take a look at what style of play you need in the game and which opposition you're facing. And so if you're facing Croatia, what you do is that you need to win the midfield battle. And you have these players to do that. And that's why I'm saying that we may have the advantage, because you may not have the energy of Modric in there, because then he is probably the main man you're looking at distributing things. Pulisic, for instance, I mean, if you take a look at the attackers and you want to see what exactly they bring on board, you're not going to have, they haven't really been the set of players that I would say the Croatians would want to scare us with. I don't think so. And I think that Perisic hasn't really scored the goals that we need. He hasn't been vintage in the games against Panama and the rest. So I think I will take advantage of that and then see what we can do, because I think we have the energy, we have the players to beat Croatia. We just don't need to go and say we want to have a draw. I don't think that's going to help us.
So let's keep Sibo, Yorenchi.
Yeah, I mean the same lineup. Just keep it
up front as well. Same.
Absolutely. Maybe I would want Kwesi to start. Kobnedu. I want him to start because of one, he's got the speed, he's got the energy to run, and so if you really want to score, we score early, and I think that he can give us that. And I think that
ahead of who, Inaki or Jordan.
Yeah, because you see, when he came on, that was where you and I or everybody kept saying that we should have had a penalty because of the aggression he brought on up front there. Because then we realized that we can do it. Because he's got, again, the energy, he's got the power to, drive his way through defense and then get the job done. So I think that we need to have such him, maybe perhaps starting this game. And because Jordan, in a way, picked up a little bit of a knock. So I would rather want to have him come on the second half. But then if you really want to get the job done early, I think these are the players you need to bring them on board.
There's one player, he just popped up in the shot, Brandon Thomas Asante.
Yeah.
He was phenomenal against Panama. He played no role in the game against England, and that got people talking. And there are some who are saying that, maybe we need him up front. We need Semenyo as well, and just maybe either Nyama or Ishahaku. So that we, even while defending during the transitions, we can still move up quickly. Brandon Thomas, I'm surprised he didn't play in that England game.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things you need to see in the coach's style of play is that it's all defending, all attacking, and that's why in the England game you could see Semenyo defending corner kicks, Jordan defending corner kicks, you have Inaki defending corner kicks and all those things. You don't leave your role for someone to do, or you don't think that I'm the striker, so I don't need to come and defend. You have to defend. So when you're throwing in players, you need to make sure that these are players, when you go on the offensive, you're able to come back and defend your line. So in as much as, yes, they are very good players, the roles given to them has to be watertight and they have to follow it. Because you're playing a system where you need to ensure that you also stop the flow of goals coming through your 18-yard area. So it's very important that the players understand their responsibilities. Brandon, yes, I would have loved him come on in the game against England, but I think that the coach knew what he was doing. And so the analysis again in the England game is that we were not efficient in terms of attacking, but anytime we did switch on, it was a problem for the England defense to deal with. So if we want to have the same system, I am saying that the Croatian side aren't as fluent as compared to the England side. I've watched them, 2 games I've watched, they haven't been that, exciting for me. So we have the advantage.
To be fair, they've always virtually played that way. I mean, if you pick the previous, even the Euros, but they still always go very far in the tournament, playing that way.
Because then you had a certain talismanic player in Modric, who at the time was at his peak, but he's fading. Perisic is not the same Perisic some years ago, but these are the players they seem to have currently and the experienced players they have. And so they throw in almost everybody, but they have always been outrun. If you watch the Panama-Croatia game, they outrun Croatia at every angle. The only problem with Panama is that they are very, very wasteful at goal. And that's the reason, even against Ghana, they're very effective, but again, wasteful. Against Croatia, the same. So once we've seen the play of Croatia and how they've tried to set the team up, we can also take advantage. That's our advantage, that we've got very, very energetic, speed players who can actually take the job. Or you mentioned Brandon, you mentioned Kobna, Edu, you can, Ishaku is there, even Semenyo, Inak, all of them are very good in terms of taking players on. And so I think that we should take advantage of that and then walk into the game and then be able to win. I think we can do it against Croatia. We don't have any excuse not to win the game. That's why I don't want us to think about the draw, that, if we draw, we are good to go and all those things. Just get in there and then get the job done.
Let's talk about England against Panama. They are other group mates. We've played against both of them, because whatever the results will be, it will have implications on us. The English press, they've not been quite impressed with how the team played, particularly against Ghana. There's a video I watched after our game against Panama, where the analyst was saying that the English strikers will be licking their lips if they watched how Ghana defended poorly against Panama, and they were just going to ride it through us. But that didn't happen. Going England against Panama, is it fair to say that it's a done deal, or it could be difficult for England?
I think they would want to respond. The criticism against them has been very, very valid there in terms of even their own fans, whatever they say, because they're expecting a certain team that needed to be very efficient in the World Cup. And mind you, Tuchel made some changes by dropping certain players that some people felt that were also wrong call there from him. And so he's come down that sort of attack because they felt that there were equally good players that should have been there, like Phil Foden should have been part of the team, Cole Palmer should have been part of the team and all those things. So they are thinking that they are a little bit static. They are not too dynamic in terms of their ball possession and in terms of their forward play. So that's the reason they have issues with the team. If you come up against Panama, for me, I don't think Panama is a very bad side. They're a very exciting team. The only problem is that they're very wasteful. They're a little bit inexperienced when they find themselves in very good areas to score goals. I've seen them play, and I think that England will take advantage of some of the wastefulness of Panama. England has got the players, and one of the reasons even the fans got a bit disappointed was the fact that Rashford, if had been brought on early, would have had something to do. Again, if Saka had been brought on early, would have had something to do. So sometimes they also question the timing of the substitution of Tuchel there. They think that he delays a lot in bringing the players that would have caused some bit of havoc to position. And so one of the decisions going against him is those substitutions. But I think he might want to really unleash Saka and unleash Rashford against Panama. I think he want to do that. And for Kane, he doesn't have a problem there. But I believe there's a midfield that we're not that efficient against Ghana. Of course, the way Ghana played was going to be difficult for them. So Bellingham and Declan Rice, they've got work to do. I don't think that Anthony Gordon would want to start. I don't think he might want to. Maybe if he does, that's also perfect against Panama, but I think he might want to try Saka. Madueke wasn't as efficient as I expected him to be, again, against Ghana, but it's also understandable the way Ghana plays. So Panama is an open game. They open up a lot. They're not too defensive like we were. So it's going to be an exciting game. But Panama would want to have a goal or maybe get a point, but I think England would definitely run riots over them.
I mean, what should be our expectation in terms of the analysis? Should we be concerned, like I alluded to earlier on, that there's the potential that how we place could affect which country we'll be playing in?
Yeah, I'm here in Portugal, I'm here in Colombia. If we lose, we play Colombia.
And even in the country where we'll be playing, whether we are going to stay in Canada or go to America, should we be concerned about all those things, or should we just do the job and see what happens?
The concern for me, it shouldn't be where we are playing, it should be who we are playing and how we attack. Because, yes, if we don't get to play in Canada, I understand the implication for Partey not being there. But it shouldn't necessarily mean that we cannot get the job done. If it's Portugal we are going to face, because, again, I don't think I've seen the real Portuguese side again in the World Cup. I mean, playing and winning against Uzbekistan is not a problem. The difficulty, Congo even drew with them. And again, it could tell you that we can actually do the same if we want to play the way we played against England. So for me, it's not necessarily about who we play. Whatever it is, the World Cup, you get to meet any team that gets to qualify to the next stage. And so you have to be more disciplined in terms of your approach to the game. And again, if we lose with Colombia, I'm hearing all those things. The thing is, I am not bothered about who we are meeting. I am more interested in how we approach those games and whether we are definitely going to be effective in getting the job done. I said we haven't scored too many goals at World Cups, but we get a job done to qualify. And all our history, in fact, our history at the World Cup should tell you that if we take the goals tally, you may not necessarily get us getting about 10 goals or 12 goals or whatever in the group stages. But to qualify to the next stage, we know how to do it. And we've done that before. So we have the opportunity to qualify and get a job done. So I think that either way, we are game. We need to find a way to make sure that we are very efficient. And I think that the team is getting the support. The delegation that went, the promises that came in, I think the players will not take advantage of that and see what they can do. You worried about that, are you?
I mean, there are those who are saying that it's a bit of a distraction. I mean, you have all sorts of people going into the camp. We want the boys focused. But we heard from Jordan. Jordan said that, they are going to do their best, especially with the added motivation of extra bonus coming from Ibrahim Mahama and all of that. Is it not too much distraction?
I have my own concern when it comes to monetary motivation to teams. And I have examples to give that I have seen teams that are not really being given so much, but they are very, very committed to the work. You remember the year that Zambia won the AFCON?
Yes.
We were paying the highest winning bonuses and the rest, they were not getting what we're getting, but they won the AFCON. So we've been to tournaments where our monetary motivation has always been there, but sometimes you don't get the job done. And we've also seen teams that do not get the necessary motivation. For instance, I am not sure Cape Verde may have the motivation that we are having, but they're getting the job done and have been the talk of town. You can also mention even South Africa, for instance. You realize that there's been a lot of issues with them, but they're getting the job done. So for me, the most important thing is get the job done and the players understand the work. As for us moving there, we give you this extra bonus, we give you the extra bonus, they are entitled to it based on the agreement they have with the state. But it should always come when the job is done. I think, like you rightly said, this monetary motivation and all those things at certain times when there's a crucial game to play, I don't think it sometimes helps. When the job is done, the players understand that they've done the job and therefore they need to be motivated. I think we can do that. But I think we are too in a hurry to think that we've already qualified, so let's just go and now. We should take our time and do it.
Let's talk broadly about the other African countries participating, including Ghana. Would you say that we've given a good account of ourselves in terms of the African teams?
10 African countries at the World Cup. The very first time it's happening at the tournament. And I think that I'm disappointed in Algeria, Tunisia, because on the continent, they are highly ranked. But I don't think that they've really been able to show or prove that they are the best side when it comes to the World Cup. Because even Tunisia, exiting early and even having to sack their coach after the first game was another problem. Congo, the first time at the World Cup, I understand their inexperience is there, so I'm not really bothered about them. For South Africa, there's a lot of talk about them, and it's history for them to qualify for the very first time to the next stage of the World Cup, the round of 32. And so I can understand the excitement there. And again, all the issues happening between South Africa and other African countries. For Senegal, again, I was expecting a lot from them, but I don't think I really saw, again, the Senegal that all of us wanted to see. Especially so when you're going to rely so much on Sadio Mane and he's not getting.
Especially the game against Norway.
Yeah.
I don't know how they managed to lose that game.
Absolutely. So that's another worry for you there when you talk about Senegal. And for Ivory Coast, I'm excited. I think that they've also really given a good account of themselves. Yesterday I was against Curaçao, and then of course 2-0. I think it was a good job done. And then you're talking about Ghana as well. You're expecting something to come from Ghana. Cape Verde, I think, again, it's another history for Cape Verde. I mean, that game and the draw against Spain was an exciting one. And so the 10, those that haven't, I don't think that I would want to say Cape Verde and didn't have the experience, and for that matter, they were going to be beaten by anybody. The good thing about some of these teams, especially for Cape Verde and other sides, is that they have a lot of players who were born in Portugal and raised in Portugal and have started playing football at the lower levels over there. So it's good that they have, you could realize there's a team that played together for a long time, and so it was easy for them to move on. So I think I am excited for them, and for Ghana as well. I think that everybody expected a lot from Ghana, even though the 10 teams, the 10 African teams were the least ranked, the 10. I think that's something which made people believe that we're not going to do well. And even our group, Panama was even highly ranked ahead of Ghana. So I understand those who felt that, no, with that ranking, we're not going to do better. But at least we've shown that when we have our backs against the wall, we are able to come clean. And so I'm excited. But for the North African teams that had to exit early, except Morocco,
Morocco, they've been amazing. They've been amazing. Morocco. I've seen people argue that potentially it's what they are doing, bringing in what we would call the Dokus and the Callum Hudson others in their situation, because I think the first lineup they used in the game against Brazil, almost virtually all of them were not born in Morocco, and maybe that is working. I mean, getting your best talents in the world, no matter where they are hailing from.
The thing is, it has to be a plan. And I'll give you a story. Comoros did same. The day or the year that Comoros became one of the toughest teams for us to beat was when they had to go to France, and it's a community where they have a lot of Comoros players or people of Comoros descent there. And they had to go and pick those boys and then eventually build a team around them. So if you take a look at even Curaçao, majority of the players are born in Holland or the Netherlands. And so some of them have played at U15, U16 of the Dutch national side, but couldn't progress to the main team. So then they had to pick them. So we don't have the luxury to think that we are going in there to pick players who were born perhaps in England or Spain and are doing well. We have a lot of talent, and so it's not necessarily bringing them, it's building a team around, up for that. For Morocco, they did that 4 years ago. They've not dismantled the team entirely. They've kept the core and still bringing one or two to beef up. what we normally do is that sometimes we just dismantle the team and then keep bringing in new players. So we sometimes don't have a team ready for the next 4 years. Let's say the next World Cup, you might not be mentioning the players I'm mentioning now, because you're not going to have the Jordan there. You might not have the Inaki Williams there. You might not, I don't know what's going to happen in terms of injuries to the other players. How do you get the team ready for the next, World Cup? And so for me, the most important thing is about how do we prepare for the next World Cup? And for Morocco, they kept preparing, or they keep preparing. And next World Cup, they are co-hosting with Portugal and Spain. So it means that they have a lot of work to do. So this is just, they may fade up certain players, but the core will still be there. And that is what we need to do. And so for me, yes, you can bring in the Dokus, you can bring in all those players. Are they a team? Are you going to have a team, or you're going to have individual players in the team? And I think that it's something we need to look at, because next 4 years is eventually another opportunity for us. And remember, when we come from the World Cup, next June we are playing the AFCON. And so you still need to have the team ready to compete on the continent as well.
Finally, prediction, Ghana-Croatia.
I am very bad at predicting because most of my predictions have not worked. So I just would think that it's a big win for Ghana. I think we can get the win, and we need to get the win. No matter what, we should never, ever think that we are going for a draw. Let's go and kill the game against Croatia. For me, that is the ultimate, and that's what we need to do.
I think we are going to win with a goal difference of 1.
And why are you watching the game?
I have not decided yet.
There's a lot of watch parties around.
Yes,
and the GTA is having one at Legon, so it's a lot of people going to be there too.
Maybe pop by and see
and
see how that will go. But thank you very much, Benjamin Graham, a sports journalist, sports commentator, for joining us this morning and discussing the Black Stars game with us. Some messages that have come out so far. This one here from Prince Henry Koforidia, aspiring Eastern Regional Communications Officer. You say that, okay, you're talking about politics. Don't worry, when I switch over to the other side, I'll deal with this. But Aziz Donla, you say that you expect Ghana to beat Croatia by a 1-0, but our last game was very interesting, especially in the second half. Our goalkeeper was incredibly aggressive. His timing and positioning were also accurate. Okay, that is your view there. Once we cross over to us, you can still send your messages and your predictions to us as we delve into the big issue segment in just a couple of minutes. But as always, remember, you can pick up your day the Milky Way with a rich, smooth taste of Peck shortcake. It is pure delight. Thank you so much for joining us for this segment, and thanks so much to Benjamin Graham, sports commentator, sports journalist, for joining us. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have the big issue discussion where the usual Friday team, they are the other side of the studio waiting. I'll flip over there and have that discussion. Stay tuned in.
guys should stop. Everybody have seen you guys for what you are. Oh. You think Ghanaians don't watch?
Ghanaians don't want you to be on the show. I don't know whether you read comments.
Thank you for staying with us here on New Day. It's time for the big issue, the discussion segment where we delve into the major political issues and talk about it. And already you heard a bit of the background discussion that was taking place. Joining me in the studio this morning, Kojo Poku Insafua is an energy analyst. He's also with the New Patriotic Party. Good morning. Thank you for joining us this morning. Also with us in the studio, as always, on Fridays, Ebo Bakman. Ebo Bakman is with the UP United Party. He's also joining us in the studio. Kwame Jantua is an energy analyst as well, a legal practitioner with the Convention People's Party. He's also with us in the studio. Thank you, gentlemen, as always, for joining us. The two issues will dominate the discussion. We'll start off with the issues surrounding the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission.
I have a small beef I need to find out. Good morning to our viewers. And let me ask all of you, who is responsible for the welfare of Ghanaians?
The welfare of Ghanaians?
Yes. Who's responsible? Can anybody tell me? Who is responsible for the welfare of Ghanaians? Is it government? Is it the individual? Who is it?
Mr. Janto, you want to teach a history?
Who is it? It's just a simple question.
No, it's not. You have
it's
to
a very simple question.
I'm
asking a question for a reason.
Yeah.
The government.
Yeah.
May I please plead? And I'm sorry. What do you call it? Is not here. AB is not here. I want to plead, President, Minister of Roads, Ghana Highway Authority, Urban Roads, Safety, Civil Society. That motorway during the rainy season is a death trap. It's a death trap. There are no lights on the motorway when it rains. Last night, I used the motorway. I spent an hour on the motorway. No lights, nothing, and it was raining heavily. Ghanaians don't deserve that kind of treatment. If we can't do anything at all, let's try and put lights on that road. Because when you look at the trucks that are plying the road, the trotro drivers who are just stopping as and when they want to stop, the people crossing the road, the vehicles crossing the road, and heavy rain, somebody is going to die on that road. Something has to be done. Something has to be done. The welfare of Ghanaians is important to this country called Ghana.
Okay.
And when it rains heavily like it rained yesterday, we're just lucky there was no accident, but the rain was torrential. The mud on the road, the people crossing, the motorbikes, the motorcycles crossing each other. If you can't do anything at all, please put lights on the road for the night.
Okay.
We don't want to hear that somebody has died because of heavy rainfall on the motorway.
All right. I think I personally have avoided using the motorway for a while now. We know there's some construction ongoing there, but at least the lighting can do a lot of good, and that should be done as soon as.
And you know there are curves, and the roads too are not smooth.
Yeah.
So you never know, you fall into a
in fact, some
pothole.
are potholes that have been filled up. But it's not been filled properly, all of that, yeah. It's not.
Ghanaians don't deserve that kind of treatment.
Yes. So it's something that needs to be attended to. Let's delve into our conversation now. We are starting off with the issues surrounding the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission. And we know that the PURC, on 22nd June, there was a release, the third quarter tariff review decision for electricity and water. And the PURC wishes to inform consumers of electricity and water that existing electricity and water tariffs have been reviewed upwards by 3.49% and 0.85% respectively, effective July 1, 2026. And it explained that these adjustments have been carried out in line with the Commission's mandate to review tariffs on a quarterly basis to reflect developments within the quarter. And so the review tracks movements in key operational sectors which are beyond the control of the utility service providers, but key in operating the services they offer. So it makes reference to the exchange rate between the Ghana cedi and the United States dollar, domestic inflation rate, electricity generation mix, and the cost of fuel, mainly natural gas, to power the thermal plants. And the PRC indicated that these adjustments have been undertaken to maintain the real value of the existing tariffs, which would enable the utility service providers to remain financially viable and to deliver on their services to consumers, while bearing in mind the impact on the well-being of the consumers in general. And the New Patriotic Party, particularly their members in Parliament, have not been impressed with the announced tariff adjustments. And the ranking member on the deputy ranking on the committee has actually been speaking, where he makes the point that he believes that the adjustments are unjustified, and also makes the point about the implications to have on consumers. So first, let's listen to him talk about whether or not the tariffs are justified, and he says it's not justified.
We remember the promises. The NDC campaigned loudly on reducing the cost of utilities, easing the burden on households, and fixing the energy sector. 18 months into their tenure, Ghanaians are paying 26.82% more for electricity than they were when President Mahama took the oath of office. This is a broken promise. Since the NDC government took office in January 2025, Ghanaians have faced a relentless cycle of utility tariff increases. That supposed second quarter relief has been effectively erased within a single quarter of its announcement. The NDC's loudly talked about reduction has lasted exactly 91 days. Electricity tariffs now stand higher than they did before the so-called reduction. Ghanaians were given a temporary breather, only to have it snatched back. Since January 2025, electricity tariffs in Ghana have risen by a staggering cumulatively 26.82%. Over the same period, government awarded workers a meager 10% wage increase, less than a third of the tariff burden placed on those very same workers.
He also talked about the implications that this would have. We can listen to him now.
Consider also what this means for industry. Ghana's manufacturers, processors, and small enterprises operate in one of the most tariff-burdened utility environments in West Africa. Every upward adjustment in electricity costs erodes their competitiveness, raises the cost of production, and ultimately pushes prices higher for the very consumer the NDC claims to be protecting. The 24-hour economy cannot run on a 26.82% more expensive electricity. Jobs cannot be created when the cost of powering a factory keeps climbing every quarter. The generation mix of 20.9% hydro, 79.1% thermal remained completely unchanged from the prior quarter, meaning no new cost pressures arose from that front either. The mathematical justification simply does not hold. Ghana has formally exited the IMF Extended Credit Facility Program. The conditionalities that accompanied that program, including requirements around cost-reflective utility tariffs, expired with it. The NDC government is no longer bound by any IMF obligation to raise electricity or water tariffs. They are free. That excuse is gone. What Ghanaians are now witnessing is therefore a deliberate policy choice. The administration has continued to allow the PRC to impose quarterly tariff increases on citizens who were promised relief. It is therefore safe to say that this is the NDC's tariff regime, chosen freely and felt painfully by every Ghanaian.
Collins Adomaku Mensah is Deputy Ranking on Parliament's Energy Committee, a member of the New Patriotic Party. They're speaking about the PRC's adjustment of tariffs. Fortunately, I have two energy analysts, I have an economist also around the table who will delve into all of these matters right about now. Let me start off with Mr. Jantua at the other side. Mr. Jantua, let me start off with you. Fair to say that, he makes the point about what the adjustments have been since the government took over, and he believes that Ghanaians today are paying more than they were at the time the NDC took over. You agree with that?
Good morning. I really don't understand why PURC I know they need to do this quarterly review, but when you look at the kind of parameters they are using, has the cedi really gone down with regards to comparing to the dollar? Because they used that as an example. There were 4 parameters they used. If you can help me, it was the cedi, inflation, generation mix,
price of natural gas,
and price of natural gas. Generation mix, we've got what? Hydro. And then we're looking at the cost of LPO, is it LFO, LPO? Looking at gas. Now, the gas situation has really got to do with how we haven't really been able to increase our gas production with oil in terms of exploration to production. But I really don't think that at this material moment, the parameters they are giving us contribute to the amount that they're asking for. I would have suggested, and I think I suggested on another show during the week, that when you look at the parameters, everything seems to be going well. The increase in the depreciation in the cedi has not been that extraordinary. It is manageable. And when the PURC chief executive was interviewed on one of the shows, he actually admitted that when you look at the economy at the present moment, everything seems to be going well, but it's an anticipation that things might not go well going forward. And for me, the way I read into that was that then you're trying to tell us that the government might not be able to handle the economy the way it's been handled during the IMF time. And because we are out now, there's likely to be a situation where things are going to go haywire. Looking at the government today, I don't think the Minister of Finance is ready to let things go haywire. I don't think so. Because then they would have gone out of the IMF and then opened the floodgates to do things that would bring the economy into disrepute. So really, for me, I think it is something they should look at again. IPPs at the present moment, we've been able to pay IPPs to date, haven't we? What is the debts compared to previous years? Do we hear IPPs screaming on top of the roofs that, you owe us and all that? We've been able to handle the economy to such a certain percentage. Now, I'm not sure, probably Kojo will be able to tell me because I haven't followed. In terms of governments paying their bills, how far has it gone? How much is owed? The legacy debt that has mounted up, where are we now? Because I believe the cash waterfall mechanism is working and working well. So for me, they should come back again and look at the figures. Maybe as we go through this quarter, if things start rising, then they can come again. But as I said now, I don't see why we want to burden Ghanaians with this type of increase when really and truly the parameters look good.
But what should the ideal situation be? Should we be doing projections to determine, or it will be fairer to look at how things have been? Because then the counter argument would be that like you alluded to, there could be the possibility that things could go crazy. Anything could happen within a short period. We saw what happened with the fuel supply situation due to the external factors. Ideally, what should our approach be when PRC is doing the analysis?
PRC should be working with the handlers of the economy. I'm not sure whether they do. They might do. Bank of Ghana, Ministry of Energy. Those people who handle the actual figure work of our economy, so that they can budget. Even civil society, Kojo's outfits, and all the other outfits that look at the economy, so that they can target it properly. So when they say they anticipate, what was the basis of that anticipation? I'm not sure if you go onto their website, maybe they'll be able to tell us how they've anticipated it to come to these figures. I would even like a situation where PRC don't just put out a statement. I'd like a situation where PRC will come on this show and explain to Ghanaians why certain parameters and certain things have happened for the reason why they've gotten to a certain point. Because look, it affects everybody. Whether MPP, NDC, CPP, it affects everybody. And it affects everybody's last pocket. Electricity and water. Some of the things that they said about water in terms of rusted pipes and all that, where are we now on that particular situation? Where are we? So it is not just a matter of putting out a statement. It's a matter of making sure that people understand and you bring the people along as we do these things, because it's affecting all of us. Most of all, it affects businesses. Any increase in electricity affects businesses. At the present moment, there's not enough liquidity in the system for people to be, try and be easy. The system is tough based on the kind of economic situation we find ourselves in, the kind of debts that we have, the kind of things that we need to do to bring the economy back to a certain position where people can be comfortable. Because, in this Fourth Republic, and I'm not sure whether my colleagues would agree with me, there hasn't been one time where we haven't been told to try to tighten our belts. Look through. There hasn't been one time where Ghanaians haven't been told, tighten your belts. We want a situation where we can untighten our belts. But we need to do it in such a way that it doesn't put the economy into a certain situation.
Let me come to Mr. Poku now. Mr. Poku, if you read the PRC say that they've adjusted, the adjustments have been carried out to reflect developments within the quarter. Yet when you read the factors, the cedi depreciated by 0.2%, inflation is doing 3.43%. And you look at the other indicators, then you attempted to ask that how are they looking at developments that have played out already and coming to the conclusion that they've come to that they want to adjust by 3.49% and 0.85%.
All right. Good morning and good morning to your viewers. Let me take this opportunity to say good morning to Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, the leader of the MPP, the flag bearer of the MPP, let me say, and currently our leader. Look, I issued a statement. The Institute for Energy Policy and Research issued a statement yesterday, and at the heart of that statement is the question you asked, Mr. Jantua, whether it's forward rates or historical methodology, right? We've seen inconsistency in how PULC is arriving at its project weighted average. In the past, sometimes they've used forward projected. So they look at the forward rates, what it might be, and then find a weighted average. And currently, we realize that they are using the historical, 3 months historical, and finding the weighted average. Now, I've had conversations with some people who have worked in the PRC calculation and said that, look, sometimes in a window, if you use the forward rates, you might punish the consumer because there's a certain level of uncertainty, so you might project higher and the consumer might pay more. And sometimes if you use the historical, you might not also get the real value because going forward, things might change. There is the third, there's four issues that is used in determining, as we said, the cedi to the dollar, inflation, WAGOG, which is the cost of fuel, and then the mix. And also the fifth one is the under recovery or over recoveries. In some quarters, if there are under recovery, PULC takes the amount that's been under recovered and factor it into the price. So we pay to make sure that we clear the under recovery. It's only once that I've seen over recovery being factored in to give the consumer a relief. But what the point Mr. Jantua made, which is that the PULC doesn't believe in what the economy is, right? From what you see, all the indicators, the three parameters, inflation, CD, and WAGOG, the price of the gas is projected to come down. Inflation is projected to come down by 17-point-something%, right? Then it's only the CD to the dollar that is 0.2% increase. Yeah. And the point that I have always made is that, you see, in the economy is a science. You can talk all the talk, but the actions in the economy will basically expose whether there is confidence in the economy or not. The NDC talks about stability. There is no stability. If there was stability, PULC will not use a 0.2 to increase electricity. And the 0.2 they are talking about is even the adjusted. So forward-looking, PULC feels that the CD to the dollar, there's a lot of pressure. Because look, we've heard that there's a lot of dollar at the Bank of Ghana. We've heard that there's a lot of reserves, right? If for the next quarter, why can't Bank of Ghana guarantee that dollar to ECG? Why 0.2? Why should 0.2 let us have a 3.5 increase in electricity? You understand the point I'm saying? Because you're looking at inflationary pressures. A 3.49 increase in electricity within this quarter is going to bring in the inflationary problem. We are coming out of the Iran-US-Israeli war. The crude oil prices have come down to about $75 as at yesterday. So it's coming down. So in the coming windows, we will see the price of petroleum products come down. So what I thought PULC would have done for this quarter is to do no increase. Because if you look at all the measures, inflation is coming down, and it will come down further because, like I said, the fuel prices is coming down. The price of gas is come down by 1.75%. Then there is the only thing that you are indicating that you think might go up by 0.2%, which is negligible, really. A 0.2% increase in currency is, you can call it negligible or not. But in that instance, Bank of Ghana, if all is well, can guarantee that price for you to say that, look, in this window, Bank of Ghana, guarantee you a fixed price, because if you are only anticipating a 0.2% increase, then leave it. Then we will go through this window without any increase. Now, what happens is that even if there are pressures we don't anticipate and it comes to bear, in the fourth quarter, we can now look at whether the parameters caused any under recoveries. Then you can factor it in a fourth quarter calculation. You understand? But then the good thing that would have happened is that the dollar to the CD would have probably stabilized, or it's been under pressure. But because the world market price of crude has come down, Ghanaians would have gotten relief at the pump, right? And then we'll have a bit in our pocket. So if you are to now increase by a certain percentage in the fourth quarter, we have excess money to be able to adjust. But this is a quarter where we are still experiencing high prices of petroleum prices. It hasn't come down yet. Then you are coming to say, let's do a 3.49 or a 3.5 increase in electricity. Really and truly, if somebody does 1,000 cedis a month, it's only 30 cedis. But you see, what you're going to put industries through is that industry will now have to factor that into their production and would increase the cost of products on the market. That is creating a bit of inflation. So what we are asking for, the civil society is asking for it. I've seen the MPP press conference, which for me I think is very encouraging, that the government should hold off on this increase because it's really not necessary. In any case, in the fourth quarter, if we think that the outlook is as bleak as they think it is, then we can do the under recoveries in the fourth quarter. At least by then, you have a better picture. We are about to read the media budget. The media budget will bring in certain measures that will give an indication of where the country is headed. So after media budget, PULC will be able to look, because clearly there is a lot of uncertainty in the economy. So two things that for me, I think needs to happen. And the gentleman at PULC reached out, right, after the institute issued the statement, and he will probably have a meeting with him next week, right, to now understand the standardization of the methodology, because it's very important. If I am to now look at consistency in price adjustment, I need to be able to project it and basically correlate it with future. If you keep going back and forth on how you determine, it makes it difficult for anybody to be able to do a correlation between what you did in the past and what you did going forward. So look, Ghanaians and consumers, all of us sitting here, are at the heart of this issue. You're going to increase by 3.5%, rounded off, right? 3.49. Water by 0.85. It's just, for me, it can be stepped down. And we are pleading with PLC to have a second look of it, because there is a remedy for you to come back in the fourth quarter and basically be able to review. By then, like I said, there has been other releases on the pump prices that would have come down, because the world market price of Platt and the crude oil price are coming down. And we will be able to now look at it, even if at that time it is 8% or whatever percentage increase, we will be in a better position as consumers to afford that than what you are doing now.
Do you get a sense from the numbers that potentially they are trying to do something that they are not telling us in terms of finding revenue? Because I mean, there are even the quarter three assumptions, and the quarter three assumptions, the generation mix hydrothermal 20.90 was for quarter two. They are projecting 20.90 for quarter three as well. For thermal, 79.10 for quarter two. They are projecting 79.10. The same with the inflation. In fact, inflation 4.17. They expect it to go down to 3.43. Yes. Natural gas 8.09. They expect it to go down to 7.9. Yes. It's only exchange rate that's expecting 11.1 to go to 11.2. Yes. Yes. So, I mean, even their own assumptions.
Exactly. That's why everybody is saying that they've gotten it wrong. Yes. In their own assumptions, that's what I'm saying, that, look, today, the Bank of Ghana can guarantee 0.2. It's not. But you see, I keep saying, and I've said it on this platform, not all is well with the economy. And people don't believe that. Going forward, the issues that are coming up, the dollar to the cedi is under pressure cooker, right? Because the issue where the Bank of Ghana was using its own internal reserves to buy dollar, to buy gold, and do that, the domestic gold, they stopped it. Now, the other thing the Bank of Ghana is doing, that's very worrying, is that Bank of Ghana keep buying T-bills at 10.5%. Meanwhile, the government T-bills is 5%. Do you know what the Bank of Ghana is doing? The Bank of Ghana is actually financing the government at 5.5%, because Bank of Ghana is the majority purchaser of government T-bills. So if you are issuing T-bills and mopping up money, because Bank of Ghana doesn't have money. So Bank of Ghana is mopping up money from the system and issuing 14-day T-bills. So they get the money. And they are paying 10.4% on that 14-day T-bills. They go and buy government T-bills at 5%. They use that money to buy government T-bills. If Bank of Ghana does not buy government T-bills will be undersubscribed. Because nobody is prepared to give Atoforsin the 5%. Why would I give Atoforsin 5% when I can give the Bank of Ghana at 10%? So that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So there is a loss. Every 14 days that we are having that window, the Bank of Ghana is subsidizing the government for 5.5% on T-bill issuance. So it tells you that there is an accumulation of certain indebtedness that the Bank of Ghana is doing. So it's not allowing the Bank of Ghana to have that room to concentrate on the management of the city. Because it beats the hell of me that, like Mr. Jantua said, PLC should work with the actors in the system, right? Why can't Bank of Ghana work with PLC to say that I guarantee ECG a certain rate? Because really and truly, the only reason we are doing dollar to the city to influence our currency is that our PPAs are in dollar and we collect our revenue in cedis. You understand? Yes. Now, Mr. Jantua asked a question that he didn't know the ESLA. Look, when Atoforsin reported his 2025 ESLA to the Parliament, what we expected in that report would have been the balance brought forward, right? In the memo that Atoforsin took to Parliament to ask for the 1 cedi increase, in that memo, he mentioned two different figures for the accumulated debt in the energy sector. Two different debts, right? And my question is, which is which? But let's put that aside. You've now collected money for 1 year. You're doing your ESLA report to Parliament. What some of us, the civil society space, would have expected is that the first thing you put in there is, this is the balance brought forward, and this is what I am drawing, what is what I'm reducing. He didn't put that. He talks about 8-point-something billion received from the 1 cedi that from ESLA. Then he talks about him adding money from Treasury to support. And he has paid down X amount of money. But he doesn't tell us how much the amount was, how much have you told us how much you paid, but you've not told us how much is left. You understand? Yeah. And that, for me, if anybody from the Ministry of Finance is watching this program, is a problem. Okay. Because if you ask anybody in the energy sector, from my brother Jinapo in the energy ministry to Atufosin, they cannot give you an exact amount of what the energy sector indebtedness is. If you are paying it down and you keep taking our money to say that you are paying it down, you've given a report. That report was incomplete because it does not give us how much the energy sector debt is, how much you've paid down, and how much is left, because we can now track the payments.
Okay. Let me come to Ebo now. And Ebo, what are your own thoughts? What could be accounting for, I mean, what appears to be, if I can even put it as, a bit of a contradiction between the conclusions and the analysis they use to get there. They said, they make the point that their aim is to ensure that the sector, the service providers remain financially viable and be able to deliver on their services to consumer, while bearing in mind the impact on the well-being of consumers in general.
Yeah, so that is I mean, okay, let me say good morning to our viewers. Good morning to your good self, Kojo, and Nana Jantwa, Kwame. Yeah. You see, the issue is, the same way my colleagues have put it. If you look at the economy, the macroeconomic environment, and some of the factors they've mentioned, I mean, it will be difficult for them to justify. And so my conclusion is that perhaps they need money. The issue of sustainability is being looked at ahead of issue of affordability. And so that is my understanding of the issue. But Kojo, you said something, I don't know if you can help me to understand. You said there's no stability in the economy. So what is stability, if you can help us?
It's not me that's saying stability.
No, you said it.
No, I'm saying that stability is when you look at the forecast. If the currency is stable, then somebody would say that if somebody is anticipating a 0.2% increase in a currency, and because of that, he's factoring and say that let's pay 3.45 electricity increase, that person is not sure that that currency is going to be stable, and that means there's no stability.
No, stability does not mean that there won't be any movement.
Yeah, but if it's stability,
doesn't mean no. In economics,
no, you asked me for my definition.
In economics,
I'm giving it to you.
When you say stability,
then you give your definition. I've told you my definition.
No, but I just want to clarify something.
Okay, that's fine.
Because the impression we are creating is not good. You see, we don't have to, send certain signals.
But they have already sent the signals. But
if you say there's no stability in the economy,
why are you blaming me for sending that signal?
No, but what you said.
So I'm coming. I think you asked him a question. He's explained what is stability. So you can also
go ahead and
tell
talk
us
about
what's your disagreement with that definition is, and advance your argument as well. Yes.
For example, the CD has been stable, but it's been moving 11.5, 11.6, 11. So that's stability. When you have a situation where today it is 11, in 2 weeks' time or 3 days' time, it is somewhere 13 or 12, then you have a problem. So stability does not mean does not mean static situation or a static situation. There will be movement up and down, but the range of the movement will determine whether there's stability or instability. For example, the kind of exchange rate situation we had 2022, 2023 was a clear case of instability. But you can't say, inflation, look at what has happened to inflation.
I get you, but if the substantive point is that if we are even to go by your definition, then that should mean that the projection should not even go as they are also doing.
So no, projection issue is projection argument is different from the issue of stability.
No, they are related to the extent that you are making a projection based on how the developments have been. So if there's a certain stability, you expect it to be hovering around the 11 thereabouts. Then if you are projecting, it shouldn't be going up by 3.something%. Okay, the stability should lead you to keep it in.
Okay, so let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. The year 2020, the first quarter, the government didn't touch water and electricity. So there was no, increment. Second quarter, there was no increment. In the third quarter, 27%. Are you getting the point? So which one do you like? Do you like a situation where we'll be giving zero increment, then 27%? The third quarter, no increment. So in that year, that single year, the increment was 27.15%. 2023, first quarter, 29.96%. Second quarter, I'm talking about electricity, 18.36%. Then third quarter, 4.22%. Then the last quarter, 1.52%. Which one do you like? Do you like a situation where we'll be giving zero adjustment, then all of a sudden, boom, a bigger figure?
I mean, we would like what will reflect the developments as they've told us they are doing.
So that's what I'm saying, that if you look at the issue of 0.85%, that, for example, if you use 100 cedis every month for your water, they are saying that subsequently you are going to add, you have to pay 85 pesos more to the 100 cedis. Do you understand the point I'm making? If you look at the issue of power, what this means is that if you used to pay 100, you need to pay 3.49% more. And I'm saying that this cannot be a reflection of an instability in the economy. If there were to be instability in the economy, these figures will be in 20s. That's why I gave you an example of what happened and the MPP in 2022 and 2023. Do you get the point I'm making? So the issue is that we can talk about the politics of it, we can talk about the economics of it. There's issue of political expediency and the economic prudence of it. And I'm saying that I personally think I've always had a problem with the issue of cost of production in this country. If you follow my conversation on the issue of cost of production, I think that, I mean, for the minority to raise the issue of cost of production, I think they should also consider the fact that other factors have also gone down in the basket. If you consider interest rate, which is a very serious problem for our producers. If you look at the issue of inflation, has also come down. I mean, certain taxes have been removed, but still, it doesn't make us competitive. That is why I want the argument to be made in the context of how we can make our producers competitive by creating a special purpose vehicle or a special dispensation of cost of production for them. We can't allow our producers to go to the market and take the same interest rate others are taking. The same electricity bill others are paying, they're also paying the same thing. The same taxes are they paying. If that is how you're going to go, then what it means is that even if we don't increase the tariffs, still the issue of cost of production will be a problem. So in that conversation of cost of production, I think we can broaden it and look at what the government has done so far to bring interest rate down from 35 to 40% to less than 20%, which is quite significant. How we've been able to also bring inflation down is also important. But I'm saying that we can go beyond the issue of this tariff and relate it to cost of production and look at the broader picture and see how we can do. But as I think the PRC, I agree with something that Kwame said. You see, sometimes you don't leave people in the dark. You need to shed light on the reason why you make the decision you made. Because now you have mentioned forex, inflation, energy mix, and other factor. But then, when you were concluding, you've given us a picture of you wanting to generate enough revenue to sustain the energy that we have. Because by giving us these two contradictory, information, it's like you are still keeping us in the dark. Come up and explain things to us. Let us, if it is the fact that you have to pay to keep our lights on, tell us so that we know that we are paying more to keep our lights on.
Okay. All right. Just hold on a second for me. There's a little issue will be resolved. Then we'll come back to you to conclude on that. But let me come to Mr. Jam. So any follow up thoughts so far?
I'm looking at the 1 cedi per litre energy levy. In 2025, what was the collection? We've been told we collected 8.81 billion generated in 2025. The actual lodgements into the energy sector support account, where that money goes, is 8.66 billion, which was slightly above the 8.62 billion that was targeted. Now, with the 1 cedi, with the 1.26 billion balance, which was now brought forward, total available in the account was 10.07 billion.
In
now,
which account?
The what do you call it? The energy support sector support account, where the levy goes into.
There's no balance in there. He said that he even paid 12 on behalf of.
Yes, he paid. But I'm saying before that.
Okay.
Before that collection came in, they forwarded the 1.2. Yes, it was there before. Okay. So it came to 10.0 billion. Now, the projection from government was what? 5.7 billion annually, right?
5.7 what?
Billion annually.
For what?
That was the projection when they started in June. Yes, when they brought the 1 cedi.
No, it's not.
No, it was 5.7.
No, it's not gonna be. The total amount of liters that we get, it's about, in dollar terms, it's about almost.
This is cedi terms.
No, but I'm just saying that it cannot be 5 billion, because if you are looking at even in terms of dollar terms, the 1 cedi total number of volumes that we do is more than the 5 billion that you're saying. So the 1 cedi, in terms of the volumes that we collect, and bear in mind, it's not only the 1 cedi they are accounting for. They are accounting for the 1 cedi 85 pesos, because ESLA was 85 pesos before the introduction of the 1 cedi. So the ESLA reports for 1.85. Doesn't report for just the 1 cedi.
I am looking at just on the 1 cedi bit.
No, but I'm saying the ESLA report that you're reading from is not just the 1 cedi. It's for the entire.
So now, for me, this is where the question is. The purpose for this 1 cedi was to do what? Was to buy fuel for thermal plants.
No, it wasn't. No.
It was part of it.
No, it wasn't.
It was part
the
of
memo
it.
that went to Parliament.
It was part of it.
Okay.
It was part of it. And then pay what? Legacy debts. So if this was what this 1 cedi was supposed to do, looking at the computation from PRC, was this taken into consideration? Was this something that was added to say that, okay, we've gotten X, and the likelihood of anticipating the 1 cedi to increase going forward, was that part and parcel of the computation?
No, Kwame, you're getting something wrong.
Okay.
The light crude oil, is not factored. PRC doesn't factor light crude oil. So that was one of the cases they made for that 1 cedi.
Yeah, but the
light crude oil. But the PRC computation does not factor light crude oil.
Yes, but they're talking about thermal plants.
No,
what fires thermal plants?
It's gas and light crude oil.
Exactly.
But the PRC does not factor light crude oil.
Why shouldn't they factor light crude oil?
Well, that's a different conversation.
It's not a different conversation.
No,
it's part and parcel of the argument.
What it is now,
it's part and parcel of the argument.
Kwame, let's educate, please. You are saying that the PRC look at the accumulation of money from the ESLA. And the point I'm making to you is that as we speak, that money from ESLA is out of the purview of PRC, because PRC does not factor light crude oil into their computation.
Yeah, but they should factor it.
Well, that's fine. That's a different conversation.
Right. It can't be a different conversation. It's something that should be brought on board.
So the point I was making, and let me make this point. You see, I said there's politics of this issue and there's economics of this issue. You see, I don't like the way the picture the MPP wants to paint in the minds of Ghanaians. We are talking about a current increment. But they have added all the increment over the period that the government has been in office. To throw it out there that there has been 26.82%. Okay. Cumulatively. Yes. But if you look at cumulatively, then you should not be the one to be doing cumulative. Because if you do cumulative, the argument will not be good for you. Because we are discussing the current issue. Let's explain it as it is. But if you bring in the issue of cumulative adjustments, then 2023, you did 61%.
Why are we going with this?
Allow me to do what I'm doing.
Stop it.
Ghanaians
voted out the MP. Because you promised reset. You've come in and you keep going back to 2023. What is that about? No, but you should stop that rubbish. Please. You should stop it. It's getting sorry, I'll withdraw the word rubbish. Sorry, my brother. But it's really getting annoying. It's getting annoying. Ghanaians are tired of this. You have voted a party power. Talk to them about what you're doing in government. And stop doing this MPP thing.
You see,
sorry, I withdraw the word.
It's quite annoying. You see, the arrogance of MPP is nauseating. Now, we are talking about an economy. You were given opportunity to manage an economy. You say you shouldn't talk about your record. But you are talking about the current government's record.
Because who's in power?
Does it make sense to you? You said we shouldn't talk about your rot.
What rot?
61. You did 61.
Rot.
In a year.
So that we can all get each other.
In a year.
That doesn't make sense. Ghanaians have voted out a government. You are in power. You promise reset. You promise lower cost of living. No, please stop that. Are you an NDC member? Are you an NDC member? My brother. Talk about the government. We are asking that Ghanaians should get a reduction. We are not talking about that. We are talking about MPP. Are you an NDC member? Let's stop this UP. We are all saying that Ghanaians should get a reduction. You don't want a reduction.
I'm really controlling myself. I'm really controlling myself here.
Just hold on for me for a second. I beg you, just hold on. I mean, I think it's important that we do this in a manner that we can all hear each other. And what we've been trying to do so far, let's allow a person on the platform to make his point. If he's asked you a question, I'll allow you to answer. We always have the chance to come back. Ebo is here to exhaust his initial take. So I just want him to wrap up for me. So Ebo, just go on.
I was making the point that we are talking about 3.49 as in electricity and 0.85%. We need to explain this to Ghanaians, why this and what this means, right? But you have gone back. You see, you have gone back from the beginning of this government and now giving a picture that the increment is 26.82%. And I'm saying that if you are to go back, 2023, in a year, the government was 1.5 years. 1.5 years, 26.82. In a year, 2023 alone, you did 61.42%. In a year, 2022, you did 27.15%. So if we are to look at the cumulative, the calculations, then you should not be the one to be doing that. That's the point I want to make. Okay. And I'm saying that I don't. It's any increment, whether we like it or not, would affect cost of living and the cost of doing business and cost of production. And so, in that sense, I wish PLC can reconsider the decision. But the point I made earlier, which one do you prefer? Do you prefer a situation where PLC will give us zero increment and give us boom, like MPP did in 2022? Or we like a situation where in the previous quarter, we had the reductions, right? Water was reduced by 4.81%. Electricity was reduced by 4.81%. Water was reduced by 3.06%. Then there has been an increment. So the PRC is not only there to increase. Of course, when the situation is that they would have to, they have to reduce, they reduce. When they have to go up, they go up. But I'm saying that, which one do you prefer? Do you prefer a situation where 0.0, then maybe 20%, or as and when situation changes, they also amend their calculations?
Mr. Poko, I'll just give you a minute or two.
What we are saying is that, look, and my brother, sorry for the word, I'm very sorry. Look, let me tell you something. What we want Ghanaians to have is lower cost of living. As you put it, in the past, the NDC were on the neck of Ghanaians that MPP is in power and there is high cost of living. We are going to reset this country. When we come into power, we are going to make sure that cost of living comes down. Ghanaians bought into that narrative and voted NDC. The NDC is in power. And all that the MPP is trying to let Ghanaians understand is that since this government that promised you a reset, promised you a lower cost of living, since they've been in, there's been a cumulative of 26% in 18 months. What is wrong with that? And what this platform is trying to do is trying to plead with the PLC that within this quarter, let's step down the increase. You are not talking about that. You are talking about 2023 and 2024. When I spoke, I'm here for MPP. I didn't even do the MPP politics. You understand? You are here for UP. You're not here for NDC.
I didn't respond to you.
No, that's fine. But the point, but
press conference.
I agree. But the point is that even me, that I'm here for MPP, did not do MPP politics.
Okay.
We did a Ghanaian. No, we did a Ghanaian politics.
It's been done already by a ranking member on
we are all pleading for Ghanaians, you and I, to get a relief that the increase doesn't happen.
That point has been made.
No, you are not making that point. You are justifying it.
No, I've not justified anything yet. I just shed light on your record. That's all. That's what I did.
You can never get to the end of the road if you don't know where you're coming from.
Very important.
Mr. Jantua, that's not important.
Okay.
You cannot.
After a plane have taken you to another destination, where do you need to know where you're going?
Definitely, there has been a situation that has brought accumulative debt in the industry. And that should also be considered. It isn't something that, is from the sky, and then you say, oh, we are going to do X, we're going to do Y. You've got to take it from where you left off and what you came to meet to make sure that you can do what? Sanitize the situation. I believe certain parameters where Ghana is concerned in terms of spending, certain parameters have come down. Haven't food prices come down? Food prices have come down. Certain areas are coming, and we all knew that it would take time for us to be able to bring the economy down to a certain point. And I must say, President Mahama, in his short time he's been here, has done quite a lot where this country is concerned. As to where we all expected the MPP to have done much, it didn't happen that way. I'm not saying when they came, they didn't do what they could do. They've done their bit, but the bit that they did has also contributed to where we stand today, positive or negative. Okay. So let's look at how we are able to make sure that going forward, some of these things can come down for a comfortable life for Ghanaians. Simple.
Right. So that is it by way of discussion on the utility issue. We'll quickly delve into the New Patriotic Party matters and wrap up the conversation. Yes, there are calls for the dismissal of Kennedy Japan from the MPP and its impact on the party. Unity is one that has dominated the headlines. There was a meeting that was taking place at Alisa yesterday. I just want you to watch a bit of the video and what played out at that particular meeting.
You are begging the Judicial show.
I know what you're going to show.
You are begging the Judicial
show. You're going to show those boys outside.
Yeah,
there's no video.
So
there's no video.
Let's show it.
You are begging the Judicial show.
When it was playing. In fact, what happened was that some of the supporters of the party pitched camp at the venue. They were saying that Ken must go. And what really has Kennedy Japan done? First, the Afari Hospital in recent times, he spoke about it, where he was unhappy about the fact that the New Patriotic Party was calling on the NDC to finish and open up the facility, and he was making a point that, so you see them holding a banner there, the Kennedy must go, with a picture of Kennedy Japan over there, and
you guys in the party. We don't need you anymore, okay? We don't need you anymore. You guys in the party. You go. You are nobody. You go. You are nobody. Come on, go out. No. You are nobody. You go. Everybody is there now. And now you're next. And now I'm free. And now
So that was how things played out at Alisa during the MPP meeting, and I was making a point that he had spoken about the Afari Hospital. After the Afari Hospital comment, he had said that, look, he was going to give the MPP a showdown. He was going to spill the bean and talk about what he knows about which would affect the party. No one knows exactly what he's talking about unless we hear from he himself talk about it. But this has been a reaction from some party members who believe that he must be sacked from the New Patriotic Party. For those of you who have your ears on the ground and follow party conversations, you know that there's been some conversation about the base, that particular political grouping, and the possibility of whether it is linked to Mr. Japan or not. That's a conversation that eventually will play out and we'll have that discussion. But this is the state of the MPP. Is it fair to even say that is the state, or is just the sentiments of a select group of people within the party? And that's what we'll be engaging our attention this morning. Maybe let me start Mr. Jantua once again for consistency. Stability and consistency is what we've been talking about this morning. I mean, why do political parties have problems with people who say something that is not consistent with what the party? What exactly did he say that is so wrong about the Afari Hospital that Ken must go?
I don't know. I think he said he has information about the party in terms of why President Akufo-Addo didn't do anything about it and why they expect...
Can we put this in perspective, I think?
Well,
the reason people are doing Kemasko is not
because...
the question you asked, I beg you. I beg. It's better we correct it. No, it's better.
Okay, maybe I'm coming. Let's do it this way then. Mr. Jantua, hold on, and let me start from you then. I'm sorry about that. Let's do it.
It's really better we do. No, the reason that Ken must go is happening is not because Honorable Ken spoke about Afari. And it's a good we put it in perspective.
Okay.
The Afari conversation happened. He said what he has to say. He did another interview on Net 2.
Yeah, I made reference to those two events.
No.
So I made reference. It means you're not listening.
I'm listening to.
No, I'm coming. I made reference to those two events. I said that he spoke about the Afari Hospital, and secondly, he spoke about this.
But when you put the question, you said that why is it that he's spoken about Afari and people say Ken must go? I want us to correct. So let me correct it.
It's not a correction. It can't be a correction because I'm coming. It can't be a correction because we've not spoken to those individuals.
No, but I'm coming.
I'll let you talk.
I'm from MPP. So if it's MPP issue, can you let me explain to you?
I'll let you talk.
No, I won't say that. I am correcting a notion that I'm from MPP.
You have to listen to me. You are going to get a chance to talk.
on the platform to speak on MPP.
Yes, but you are going to get a chance to talk. Can I ask you a question so that you answer? I mean, you're going to get a chance to talk. I'm saying that there are two events that have taken place.
Yes.
And those two events are what I referenced.
No, but the two events are separate. The first event.
But I'm saying that unless we engage.
I am telling you from the party perspective. Okay. I'm telling you, so take it as a fact. There are two incidents.
That's your opinion.
It's the party's position, please.
Okay, so the party position is that Ken must go because the comment he made threatening the party?
The reason there are petitions, you see, that's why if you let me speak, you understand. The reason there are petitions in front of NEC for yesterday's meeting was not because Ken spoke about Afari.
Okay.
That's not the reason there are petitions.
Okay.
The petitions emanated from the statement he made on Net 2, where he said that he will give MPP for Mubenhu 2027 June, July. That is what has necessitated this issue. So the Afari issue has got nothing to do with this instance. That's why I want us to separate the two.
Okay.
People might think that, oh, because he spoke about Afari, if you say that, that is why it led to this. No. Ken gave an interview, Honorable Ken Japon gave an interview on the 2 and said that in June, July next year, 2027, he's going to give MPP 4 Mubehu. That statement, for me, is where he lost all of us. Because the party is united at the base. If you see, we've done the polling station election, we've done the electoral area elections, we are about doing the constituency election, and it's all been peaceful. The party is united, and about 90% of its supporters are now elected and happy. Honorable Kenneth Japon is a member of MPP. If you now say that MPP 4, it's like you are threatening the entire party. And that is why those petitions went to NEC.
Okay.
So it's very important that we put it out there. Everybody in MPP can say whatever they want to say. Some things we prefer is not said out. But if he's entitled to his opinion and if he speak out on Afari, that's fine. But the minute everybody in the base, my phone was ringing, everybody's phone was ringing, when Honorable Kenneth Japon said MPP 4 will be what will happen next year, 2027. That is where the problem is. So it's very important we clarify that.
Any addition on the question of the petition for him to leave the party? Any comments?
Well, the petition is not for him to leave the party, please. Let's also put it in perspective. The petition, he has said something, you cannot belong to a party and threaten the party. It's an anti-party behavior. So the minute you are in a party and you threaten the party, members of the party will have cause to now petition the highest body of the party and say, look, we have a member who is portraying an anti-party behavior. That was why the petition went. Okay. Nobody is saying that we are petitioning for him to leave.
What do they want?
Hold on. The NEC has referred the matter to the disciplinary committee.
Okay.
He will be called, given a fair hearing, based on his interaction with the disciplinary committee. The disciplinary committee, chaired by Mr. Mwakwata, will now give a fair hearing and make its recommendation to NEC. And they've been given 2 weeks to bring their report to NEC. Okay. At that point, NEC, the highest decision body of the party, will make a decision.
Okay, so Ken must go means Ken must go to the disciplinary committee.
Look, the Ken must go you hear, those are 6 or 7 party youth who are upset. Everybody is free. Demonstration is part of our constitution. People are free to express what they want. They are saying Ken must go. That's only 6 people you see in that video doing that. It doesn't mean the entire party is saying Ken must go. No. The party which is represented, you see, MPP is a law-abiding institution. We have processes that everybody goes through. Honorable Kenneth Japon will be given a fair hearing at the disciplinary committee, and if he goes there and explain himself, give reason why he did that, the disciplinary committee will recommend what should be done going forward, and the National Executive Committee will take a decision in 2 weeks.
Okay. Ebo, I'll come back to you, Mr. Janton. I'll come back to you. Yes, Ebo.
MPP. You see, because MPP is a public.
I'm here. What?
It's a public institution. We should all be concerned about things that happen in that political party. Ghanaians gave them 8 years to govern this country. They couldn't govern well. They destroyed almost everything that they came to meet. Then, in opposition, you don't even know how to be in opposition. It's really a problematic situation for MPP. In government, you failed woefully. In opposition, you are failing. Now, within your party, look at what is happening. They always want to portray strength and unity on the surface. But the undercurrent MPP is suffering from. It's yet to come out. This is just the beginning. You have a political party. Kojo says the party is law-abiding. A political party that does not even respect its own constitution. This disciplinary committee, is it the one that Abronya described as bogus? Is it the same committee that is going to meet Ken? When Abronya misbehaved, and the General Secretary said he was going to refer him to he said, no discipline committee can meet me. That bogus. The discipline committee is very bogus, and if I use words that I cannot use against, nothing was done to him. The same political party. Now this bogus committee wants to meet Kennedy Japan. So it's really those of us who have been members of that party before. When you look back and you juxtapose the MPP we knew with the MPP we have, which has virtually become BPP, Bawumia People's Party. The party has graduated from Nana People's Party to Bawumia People's Party. So they openly can say, until Bawumia becomes president, nobody can become candidate of the party. They openly can say, you can only be elected to be regional member of the party and a constituency member of the party and national member of the party if you are known Dr. Bawumia supporter. I mean, these are leaders of the party saying some of these things openly. So if Kojo says the party is law abiding, I don't know the kind of law they are abiding with. You see, but you see, whether they like it or not, Kennedy Japan is an institution within MPP. In fact, if you want to be serious and you go down and talk to individual members of the party, not the delegates, those who are easily bought, talk to the ordinary members of the party and compare Kennedy Japan's strength in the party grassroots to that of Dr. Bawumia. You see a vast difference. So they should tread cautiously in dealing with Kennedy Japan. If they really want to do better than 30% in the next election, maybe 32 or 31%, they should talk to him. So that at least he won't be muddying the waters for them the way he's likely to muddy the waters if care is not taken. So I don't know where to put them again. In parliament, they are failing. In government, they fail. In opposition, they are failing. In their party, they are failing. And everybody must be concerned. They are not prepared for power anytime soon. At least in the next maybe 24 years, if you can consider them, that would be okay. But from the way they are behaving, and look at the insults. Yesterday I saw those holding the banners. They were spitting on the banners as though Ken was the one on the banner. So they were spitting on him. They were spitting on him. This is MPP for you. You see, the moment the chain was broken, the party had a tradition, transfer of power. From Kufuor to Nana, from Nana to, well, Nana was supposed to be Alan, then that chain was broken. An alien was brought into the party, somebody with NDC antecedent, who had never paid a cedi as a dues to the party. He had never even mentioned the name of the party to anyone. That alien was brought in. The moment that alien was brought in, that was the beginning of the problems of the party.
Who is that alien you're referring to?
I'm talking Dr. Bawumia.
How can you call Dr. Bawumia an alien?
It was an alien to the party.
You're not letting me draw that.
Who's an alien? He was an alien to the party.
How can you say that?
He was an alien.
When I say something, you say I should withdraw.
He was an outsider.
Some of these things is very unfortunate. You should let him withdraw.
Before I even asked you to withdraw, you withdrew it yourself. Because you agreed with the point that it was not fair you had said.
Yes.
What you had said. But I mean, everyone joins a party at a certain point in time.
I'm saying that he didn't join the party to become a member. He would join the party to become a candidate.
Yeah, but I'm saying that everyone will join at a point in time. Some will join just to become members.
That's what I'm saying, that when an outsider was brought in.
You mean someone who was not part of the party?
Yeah, was brought in to become a running mate.
Just land on that point for me.
And when that happened and the chain was broken, that was the beginning of the problem of the party. So what is happening is the handiwork of Nana Akufo-Addo, that he left the party in tatters, and that is what they have now. I really don't wish them well. I wish there will be more disintegration in that political party.
All right. So the production team just drew my attention to this. It's a petition that was sent to the New Patriotic Party by 5 members of Parliament. The petition was signed by Dr. Nana Uefriye, ranking member of the Health Committee and MP for Efidrasia Sokori, Dr. Patrick Boachi Yadom, MP for Boase East, Dr. Kingsley Ajimai, MP for Ebuakwa South, Alexander Akusiakwa, MP for Achimoda, and Frank Yeboah, MP for Etrima in Wabieja. And this is a petition that It's actually reported on Ghana Web as well. Media members of the Parliamentary Select Committee petitioning the minority leadership in Parliament over comments made by former Sin Central MP Kennedy Japan regarding their recent visit to the Afari Military Hospital. It's addressed to the minority leadership and copied to the New Patriotic Party flag bearer. And they make the point that following the incident, Kennedy Japan publicly criticized the visit and made claims which in their view contradicted the known facts regarding the operational readiness of the hospital. And they argued that the visit was neither unilateral or unauthorized. And so it was inappropriate for Mr. Japan to publicly criticize a decision that has been sanctioned by minority leadership. So they go on to say that failure to address the matter would weaken the authority of the minority leadership, encourage indiscipline within the party, and undermine the NPP's electoral prospects. And so they are asking that something needs to be done about that particular situation. They want the leadership to publicly rebuke Mr. Japan for remarks and the conduct, and they said it has the potential to undermine the collective efforts and image of the minority caucus there. So that is just to address some of the issues that have come up. Mr. Anton, I'll give you the final word on the MPP.
So who will rebuke Ken? Who in the MPP establishment will rebuke Ken? He's a colossus in the MPP. No two ways about that. And
bigger than the party?
It's not bigger than the party, but he's a colossus. He's somebody who, when he talks, people listen and supporters listen to him. But let me ask, if a non-entity said 2027, what would be the response? Will they go down the same line they are going down with Ken? And it goes to show, there is some fear of Ken because of the kind of sensitive information he holds. And if he decides to bring that sensitive information out, it can cause damage to the MPP. Okay. You see, this is where they get it wrong. This is where they get it wrong. Kojo, when you were talking, I was quiet, so please be quiet. When you were talking, I didn't talk. I was quite listening to you, so please be quiet. This is where they get it wrong. In the sense that you need to build confidence within the people. From the kind of electoral figures you got, yours is to build confidence within the people. And if you find one of your members is going wayward, pull him in. Don't create a situation where people now stand on that situation to damage you further. But they don't listen. Because there are people in the MPP who feel they are hanchos, who feel they are untouchable. If for nothing at all, Nana Akufo-Addo brought this party down. From the election results he got in 2017, for the election results that they got in 2024, he brought the party down. And you've got to rebuild that party. I keep telling Ghanaians, use the CPP as an example. I keep telling them, use the CPP as an example. And people do not like this kind of thing that they are doing. People do not like it. People want a fair competition. And if one of your members is going out of line, pull him in. Don't fight openly. Pull him in.
I mean, but that member does not want to be pulled in.
There are many ways of killing a cat.
Yeah, but he is fighting.
I said there are many ways. There are many ways of killing a cat.
Ken is gone. He's a goner.
There are many ways of killing a cat. If you feel that individual has the kind of support that can move things in your party, pull him in. Pull him in. Sit with him. What did Vice President Bawumia do when he was elected? Didn't he pull all of them in? Did he not pull all of them in? And he had a reason for pulling all of them in. There needs to be somebody within the MPP who can bring sanity. Who can bring sanity, maturity. That's why I keep telling them, go sit with President Kufuor. Go sit with, if you need direction, go sit with President Kufuor. He has the experience, he has the wherewithal, he has been there for quite a long time. He is still alive to guide you. Because with this kind of way they are going about the politics in their party, I don't think it will help them. Ghanaians don't like this kind of division.
All right. That's all time would allow us this morning. I must There's something that I must address. Something that
the statement you read.
I'm coming.
Okay.
There's something that I must address. We were supposed to have a rep from the National Democratic Congress join us. We were expecting him to come. He did not show up, and the information he's given us. Not Abraham Amaliba, I must say, not Abraham Amaliba. Amaliba was not supposed to come today.
He says his greetings.
He sends his greetings.
But he got him to represent him, which he done a very good job at it. He represented him. He represented him. He sent him all the notes and he greeted him. But are you not conveying greetings?
So that is all time would allow us this morning. My guest,
are you not conveying
Kojo Insafua-Poku with the MPP.
But let me make a quick statement.
It's the time that you allow me to stop that you've taken it.
Oh, my brother.
Ebo Bakman is with the United Party and Kwame Jantua is with the Convention People's Party. Big Issue as always is sponsored by the University of Gold Coast. Whether you are aiming for a specialist MBA in marketing, communication, operations, supply chain, human resource management, finance, entrepreneurship, innovation, or business intelligence analytics, or you want to advance through our dual MBA or chartered manager MBA, University Gold Coast gives you options that match your vision. And if your next step is an MSc in international relations, communication, international marketing, international law, security diplomacy, accounting, finance, or human resource management, an LLM in international law, security diplomacy, or an MA in biblical studies, practical theology, the pathway is open. You can apply because at University of Gold Coast, we make it practical, flexible learning, flexible entry, and flexible payment. Study around your work and life and choose a route that fits your background and pay inconvenient installments. Your dream deserves structure. Your future deserves strategy. Your purpose deserves training. You can apply now at www.ugc.edu.gh or you can call or WhatsApp us on 026-388-8555. University of Gold Coast. There, building leaders for the nations. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with the latest in the world of sports. Stay tuned in.
Hello, my name is Pamela from Customer Service. Please revalidate your account by texting your Ghana card number to 0500,247.
Hey, Abili, wabadim.
Madam, give me the numbers behind your ATM card. I'm calling from the head office.
An email was delivered across to our customers this morning.
Confirm if this is your bank account. 100,100,100.
Thanks for sending your bank card details.
Send the OTP now to avoid cancellation.
EcoBank will never call, email, send an SMS asking for your PIN, OTP, bank card, or Ghana card details.
Don't get played. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Hello, please, I'm calling from Customer Experience Center.